Hey, Joe Brunsman here, cyber insurance broker to the stars, back with another interesting video for you. This one is HHS OCR comes alive, and this is the story of the $1 million stolen laptop. So let's jump into it. All right, what exactly happened? This is the stereotypical employee left the laptop in the back of a car kind of story. So a Rhode Island hospital employee's car was broken into while it was parked in a public lot. One of the items stolen was a laptop used by the employee for work purposes. The laptop was never recovered. Why is that particularly important? Well, when a laptop is stolen or any mobile device is stolen and it's not encrypted, we can't really do forensics on that. We don't really know necessarily what was on there. So generally, you just kind of divert to absolute worst case scenario and then hope to God you can work your way down from that. So in this, Lifespan ascertained that the employee's work emails may have been cached in a file on the device's hard drive. The analysis revealed that the thieves had access to a ton of protected health information. All right, from the allegations of HHS OCR, apparently Lifespan didn't implement policies and procedures to encrypt all devices used for work purposes, track or inventory all devices that access the network. Now, when it comes to actually knowing, this is really kind of cybersecurity 101, doubly so now that we're, everybody's working from home. You need to know what devices are allowed to access your network and what devices are not allowed to access your network. So make sure that you actually track and inventory all those devices so that you can really just at a fundamental level, if a device is actually allowed to access your network, okay, great. If it's not allowed to access your network and it does, well, then you could have a breach on your hands. Seems pretty basic, but a lot of companies actually miss that step. They also apparently didn't have the proper business associate agreements, and they impermissibly disclosed the PHI of 20,431 individuals. Now, why is that really important? 20,000 people, that is not a large breach. And this company got fined over $1 million, which comes out to something, top of my head, say roughly 51-ish dollars per record. So not a lot of records actually got disclosed in the grand scheme of things, where we live in a world where we see breaches of hundreds of millions of records. Now, this really went down what I call the investigation death spiral. So what happened here? This is from the press release of HHS OCR, and they determined that there was systemic noncompliance with the HIPAA rules, obviously including the failure to encrypt ePHI on laptops, after Lifespan determined it was reasonable and appropriate to do so. So it looks like it's a double whammy here where, allegedly HHS OCR had gone in, done the investigation, and they saw where Lifespan Ace said, hey, we need to encrypt mobile devices. Well, apparently they didn't do that. And so it looks like HHS OCR is holding their feet to the fire. They also uncovered a lack of device and media controls and a failure to have a business associate agreement in place. So what is now required? This giant list of things, which I will go down. You are more than welcome to pause the video here if you'd like to read these. I'm not going to read them for you. Needless to say, on top of that $1 million fine, they probably have to hire someone just to deal with this particular issue. And P.S., the cost of ongoing compliance, generally uninsurable in a cyber or other type of insurance policy. So this is $1 million fine plus the cost of doing all this stuff. And obviously I already told you, they have to pay $1,040,000, and that is going to hurt. So what lessons can we learn from this? Well, first of all, you don't want to poke the bear. All right, so you may assume that you're compliant. You may assume that you are too small for OCR to come after you. You may assume that you are too out of the way for anybody to really care about a breach of your system. That is not true. OCR right now is saying, hey, even just a breach of 20,000 records, not particularly notable unfortunately, in the data breach world. They will come after you and they will fine you. So make sure you're taking this seriously. I also guarantee you somebody got fired over this, or they're about to get fired, or more than one person's getting fired over this. You don't just get egg on your face in the national media and pay $1 million fine without somebody having their feet held to the fire over this. So you don't want that to be you. As I said before, and I'll say again, 20,000 records is not that many. Take this seriously. This is your warning from OCR. Obviously, you want to encrypt mobile devices if they have access to any ePHI. Reassess your cyber insurance coverage. You may be able to get insurance for HIPAA-related regulatory fines and penalties. and work with your expert to determine compliance. So if you don't have a compliance expert now, you probably want to get one, and obviously speak with your MSP and IT providers. I realize that it is a difficult economic environment and everybody is really just, hunkering down and trying to make every dollar count here. This is probably not one of those areas where you want to try and poke the bear, as I mentioned before. So talk with those guys, see what extra additional steps that, could be mandatory under the law, and take it seriously. With that, I do have a free copy of my book here. There's an entire, very lengthy chapter on HIPAA High Tech. If you'd like to download that, there's a link in the description. If you'd like to speak with me about cyber insurance and compliance, you're more than welcome to shoot me an email there. And with that, stay safe.